Are you thinking of booking an Ambassador cruise but are wondering what the ship is like? Well, we took a cruise on Ambassador Ambition in April 2024 and spent 6 days discovering its decks. In this video, we will give you a full tour of the ship along with some hints and tips to hopefully make your stay more enjoyable. Ambition is 25 years old and had a refit in 2023 prior to her first Ambassador sailing in May 2023. She has 680 cabins and can hold 1,200 guests. She's 216 metres long and 28.8 metres wide. This is relatively small in terms of today's cruise boats, but we found her to be a nice size and apart from a couple of pinch points at certain times of the day, did not feel overcrowded. Let's start at the top and work our way down using the power of gravity. Deck 12 is home to the joggers and walkers track. Joggers go round one way and walkers the other. It's very organised. This is a good facility as there is no wraparound promenade deck. There is also a small splash pool, but as there was no water in it on our cruise, it was only the rain that got to splash in it. Deck 11 is where you can find the active studio and gym. The facilities were adequate and was a reasonable size for a small boat. We did notice that quite a few of the machines were out of order. There are fitness classes and activities held in the studio. The Green Sea Spa is where you can find the steam room, sauna and relaxation room. We were pleased that these facilities were offered at no additional cost. A range of treatments are available at good prices compared to other cruise lines. The consulate bar and the pool bar are found at either end of this deck, and although the pool bar was never open on our cruise, we didn't have any problems getting a drink on deck. We did manage to sneak in a couple of hours of sun on our last day. It hosts a number of pools, including a relaxation, hydrotherapy pool and 2 hot tubs and a swimming pool. This was an excellent choice of pools to relax in. They were emptied at the end of each day and filled with treated salt water each morning. The alfresco grill is on this deck, offering snacks, light meals and pizza. Just past this is Borough Market, which is the buffet. We found this to get quite crowded, so we opted mainly to eat in the dining rooms. The food available tended to be similar to that offered in the dining rooms, with some additional items such as curry. There were clearly labelled vegan and vegetarian options and milk alternatives. Lupino's specialty restaurant is also on this deck. Whilst we didn't try it, we heard some positive reports. Down to deck 10 and deck 9, which are all cabins. On deck 8 there are also cabins. There is also a self-service laundry. And for a small charge of £3, you can wash your smalls before you come back home. Deck 7 is home to the Cavern. This is the largest of the bars and is where you will find quizzes, game shows, bingo, silent discos, karaoke, movies, cabarets, live music and more. As you can see, there is a lot going on here. We were always able to get a seat in the cabin, but some guests weren't fans of the bucket style seating, which is very common on this ship. However, we didn't find it to be uncomfortable. Deck 6 is home to the Palladium, which is the ship's theatre hosting shows by the show team, guest artists and lectures by guest speakers. We liked that you could take drinks into the theatre and also that there is waiter service prior to the show starting. Seating in the theatre was, however, a little odd. So in the theatre there are 2 or 3 different types of chair. The ones that always go first, and you have to be here probably about a quarter of an hour at least before the show starts to get one, is one of these, because they've got a table as well at the end where you'll get waiter service quite easily. These are very, very popular. So these are always the first ones to fill up. The next ones to fill up are these bucket seats, which probably aren't quite as comfortable. They're a little bit wobbly and you can catch your knees on these metal bits when you spin round. So unfortunately you've got a choice to make. You either sit here where you're tiered and you've got an unobstructed view, or you sit here where you've got a table, but be aware that people might sit in front of you. Third alternative, there are some stools at the back. But then over here with ramp access at the rear, you've got seats for disabled passengers. The Angel Bar is a small mezzanine bar wrapped around the central atrium, just above the reception. It serves drinks, teas and coffee, including some specialty coffees with liqueur that were nice to come back to after a long day exploring. There is no entertainment in here, so it's a nice place for a quiet drink and chat, or just somewhere to sit and read a book. The number 10 conference room is here as well, if there are any events on board. Bronte's library is well stocked with a good selection of books. This is a lovely space with a few quirky reading nooks to hide away in. Aces and Eights is a lovely games room with a good number of baize-topped gaming tables. There were a number of unhosted card events in here. Food and drink are not allowed. The Clifton Lounge is a small bar which was very popular and provided the location for acting vignettes by the Actor Entertainments and classical music. This was the place to watch a man fiddling with his pianist. Grafton Street was home to craft activities, which were very popular. There was a small charge for these, and they included making pin cushions, tiscali balls, and origami. The secrets of simple origami are twofold, and if you're interested, the World Origami Championships are available on pay-per-view. The photo gallery is also on this deck, and there was the opportunity to purchase formal portraits, shots taken around the ship and a cruise video. A number of packages were available. We decided not to purchase any as we know what we look like. However, to avoid shots like these, you may wish to have a professional take your photographs. The promenade decks are also on this level. However, as they're not wraparound decks, we didn't tend to use them very much. The second specialty dining venue is on this level, and that is Saffron, which serves Indian cuisine. There is an additional charge for this restaurant. On deck 6 is also Holyrood Restaurant. This is one of the two main dining rooms, and this is the restaurant that we were in for our fixed time dining. We found this restaurant to be very spacious, and the seats were very nice as well. On deck 5 we have the Purple Turtle Wine Bar. It's a small and very quiet venue just outside the lower Palladium Theatre entrance. There is no entertainment here, so it is a good place for a quiet drink or to have a chat with newfound friends. Incidentally, we found this cruise to be one of the friendliest that we have ever been on, and that includes both the staff and the guests. The reception desk is to be found in the small atrium area in the centre of the ship. The Future Cruises desk is just to the left of the reception, and the Destination Experiences desk is just to the right of reception. The Pendennis Bar is another small and intimate venue and provides entertainment in the form of a piano vocalist. This was one of my favourite venues. For anyone into doing shopping on board, there is a shopping galleria with a number of small shops available to purchase goods. The second of the two main dining rooms is on deck 5. This is the Buckingham Restaurant, and this is the restaurant where lunch is served, breakfast served, and evening meals. We found Ambition to be clean and tidy throughout, and although the decor is not exactly on trend or hip, it is perfectly adequate. In conclusion, Ambition has all of the necessary facilities with none of the bells and whistles of other more modern ships. but she caters for a demographic who don't require water slides, robot bartenders, VR experiences, etc. It caters for people who like to be entertained, but also like to entertain themselves and don't require constant auditory and visual stimulus to have a great time. Ambassador know their target audience, and with a 90% satisfaction rate, must be doing something right.
All right.
We're doing a little disco.
All right.
Thing is, you see all these mirrors and you just can't help yourself. You must try it one time.
Say your way for it.